It's Saturday morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Dioramas. I am your host, TechChucker. Now, if you're not familiar with how this show operates, every week I go through Instagram looking for the coolest looking dioramas, and I showcase them right here on the show. Now, if you would like to be showcased in a future episode, all you need to do is upload your diorama pictures to Instagram and tag them with the hashtag ThisweekInDioramas. Now, with all of that said, this week's episode, completely different. Entirely different. Now, before you click off and go somewhere else, and maybe you'll do that anyway, and that's fine. This week I didn't have time to do an actual showcase. The reason being is I'm recording this on Wednesday, which is my wife and I's anniversary, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are going to be out of town. So I'm like, well, I could do a showcase of, a couple of days worth, but I don't really have time. Last night, I had a big implementation that I did for work. Not all of it went great. So here we are. We're doing a different episode, but I think it's still going to be valuable to you. So if you haven't already clicked off of the video, thank you for that. I will keep this much shorter than a typical episode. It's definitely not going to be 30 minutes. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through some YouTube channels that I recommend to all of you that might be of interest when it comes to doing dioramas. Some of these folks do showcases of their work, which was, good for inspiration. Some of these folks do tutorials, and that's what we're going to go through today very quickly. And if any of these are of interest to you, they are going to be linked down in the description below. So go check those out if you're looking for extra content, because, this isn't getting you where you want to be on your Saturday morning or whatever day you're watching it. Go check out some of these other channels. There's lots of great people out there doing really great stuff, way better stuff than I do. And so I wanted to make sure that we share some of that. Now, obviously, I'm not hitting every channel that's out there. I know there are other channels out there. So I chose some of the ones that I more frequently go to, or that I just discovered that I know I'm going to be checking out pretty often. So let's jump right on into it first with the channel that essentially inspired me to do the This Week in Dioramas show, and that is Life with Brock. If you're not familiar with him, go check him out. Again, the link will be in the description below. He was doing a weekly episode of This Week in Customs, where he showcases custom action figures. Now, I don't know if he's still doing that very regularly, but there's a whole slew of episodes that you could go check out. He changed his format a little bit to have individual seasons within a year. I think he was doing like 4 seasons within a year. Not sure if he's still doing that or not, but again, go check him out. He also does custom action figure tutorials and just kind of showcasing what he's doing, so go check him out. Another one that I wanted to talk about is Dioramas Cloud. This is not a YouTube channel, this is their Instagram. And they are doing a giveaway right now. So hit them up. As far as I understand it, it is well, check out their channel or their Instagram for the rules. But they're giving away a diorama, and how cool is that? Who doesn't want to win a diorama? Whether you make dios or just enjoy them, who wouldn't want an opportunity to win one? So go check out Dioramas Clow on Instagram and get entered into that. It should be really cool. Next, Drip Mode. On Instagram, I know them as Dioramas. They do some pretty darn cool stuff on their YouTube channel. Number one, the video production is amazing. And those of you that watch my show, I try to get as good of video production on my videos as I can. This guy really knows what he's doing. If you've ever seen any behind the scenes pictures or videos of his setup, like he's got the actual like keyboard that's special for video editing and all that stuff, which is pretty darn awesome. He must do that for a profession of some sort. I don't have that kind of equipment. Though if you notice, I do have studio lights now. They're cheap. They weren't cheap for my budget, but they're cheap. But it's really helping. So go check out Drip Mode. He does some tutorials, time-lapse sort of stuff where he's showing his work, and he always does amazing dioramas, which is so incredibly cool. And then the other one that I want to talk about is Euler's Workshop. I've talked about his channel a couple of times. He just started it. Last I checked, he was at like 650 subscribers, which is amazing. I think it took me over a year before I even hit like 200. I don't remember how long it took, but he is hitting it pretty hard right now. He does really great diorama tutorials. He's such a unique guy. He has great ideas on how to do different things. So make sure you check out Euler's Workshop. He also has a giveaway going right now where if he hits 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, he will draw a winner from his subscriber base, and he will build them a custom diorama, you know, within reason, I think. He's not gonna do some massive $1,000 value diorama, but I mean, to win a diorama, again, pretty darn awesome. So go check out Diorama or Euler's Workshop. Again, awesome guy. Next, I want you to go check out El Chombo NYC. He is an amazing dude. Originally, I believe, from Puerto Rico. He's got style. He's a fun guy to listen to, fun guy to see on YouTube. Every once in a while, he'll do a really cool chill video where he's playing, oh gosh, it's not the marimbas. It's, geez, I'm sorry. I forgot. Sometimes he had the congas out. I used to be a percussionist too, and I'm forgetting the word. For the metal 2 drums, timbales? I can't remember. But he's a super cool guy. He's always putting out creative ideas, unique ideas for his dioramas, and he does showcases of his work, kind of time-lapse of the stuff that he's doing, so you can kind of see the process of how he goes from start to finish, which I enjoy a lot. Even if it's not always a full-on tutorial, here's how you do X, Y, and Z, to be able to see that progression, you can learn so much about how to make a diorama by watching these time-lapse showcases. Go check out El Chombo NYC as well. He also does some toy reviews from time to time, and then he'll do some vlogs as well, just bringing you into his life, which is kind of fun. I enjoy the vlogs as well because it helps you to get to know the person a little bit more. Next up is one that I just discovered had a YouTube channel. This is Law Creations on YouTube, but on Instagram we know him as Lorenzen Dioramas, and I gotta say, how did I not know you had a channel? It's so cool that you are also doing a YouTube channel. He's got DIO tutorials, some custom action figures I saw on there. So make sure you go check him out. His skill set is also one of those that is very, very deep. I mean, his paintwork is amazing. So I am gonna be binging his channel very, very soon to start picking up some of those weathering techniques that I am gushing over all the time. Next, go check out Tactical Nerdist. I don't know if he's actively adding new videos. I think he said that he was going to try and pick it up again. He had to take a little bit of a break, and I don't know exactly. It's not my place or your place to really get into that. But he is one of the earlier YouTubers that I got started in watching for tutorials, and one of the ones that I remember very clearly is his how to do wood using styrofoam, and that one was amazing. That's what helped me to be able to figure out how to do wood floors, how to do wood timbers, all of that. So Tactical Nerdist, go check him out. He's got a library of tutorial videos that I would highly recommend you go check out. Let me move this up a little bit on my notes. This next one is an obvious, you must go check him out, Al Figures. He is kind of the godfather of diorama building, and one of, I believe, the founders of the DIO Structure Facebook group. I highly recommend you go check out his videos. He does both showcase and some tutorial videos, so you can kind of see his process. So make sure you check out Al Figures channel, and then also check out Henry715. He does some tutorials on there as well. He's a very talented creator, awesome weathering paintwork, and he does some tutorials as well. The one that I remember the most is how to weather a oil drum barrel, so check them out. Also, Crashbox Customs, last year's Grand Championship winner. They have really been nailing it the last couple of years. They've got a deal that they've been working with Mezco to build their con displays, which is pretty darn awesome. I mean, how cool is that? And he's got like CNC machines. He's got 3D printers. I mean, every piece of tech that you can imagine, and they are really doing some cool stuff. So on his YouTube channel, they are, showcasing the work that they are putting out there, and it is some really amazing work. It's just fun to look at. So go check out their channel. Another one that I just discovered, and I didn't know that he had a channel either, is Jason Jensen Trains, and his channel is massive compared to mine. I mean, I think he's pretty close to 20,000 subscribers, which is, if you know math, I'm at 5,000, 20,000. That's like 4 times more. So how I didn't know about this channel is beyond me. His weathering skills are impeccable. I haven't gotten a chance to look at the videos yet, but I've looked through some of the titles, and there's definitely some long form build videos that I think showcase how he's doing this stuff, but you're kind of going along with him as he's building these different dioramas, which is, again, one of those things that I think is very, very useful to add to your repertoire of learning, because just doing the X, Y, and Z, we don't always, when we do those tutorials, show the things that got in the way, the problems that we ran into. And so those sorts of long form videos, you're going to be able to get a lot more of that information. And then you're also going to find out a little bit more about the person. Next, check out the Terrain Tutor, diorama tutorials, miniatures, and gaming. There's a lot of resources in the miniatures, the Warhammer sort of world when it comes to building dioramas. Sometimes you have to scale up what they're talking about, namely trees and that sort of thing. But a lot of the stuff that they do is very, very relevant to the 1/12th, the 1/18th scale, or the 1/10th scale stuff that we're doing. So check out the Terrain Tutor. Also check out Rocco the Great. Crazy guy, does lots of really insanely stuff that I wouldn't do out in public. He does lots of toy hunts, but then he also will throw in a diorama tutorial, and it's always gold when he does one of those tutorials. So go check him out for both the entertainment value and the diorama tutorials. He's a fun guy. You'll never be bored watching him, ever. Next, check out 1 to 10 World. He does 1/10th scale stuff, lots of RC cars, and then he does photography with those cars, and it's always such realistic photography that is so cool to check out and see, and it's so different. So check out him, and then check out Geek Gaming Scenics. This guy is he's got a huge channel, and if I'm remembering him right, let me make sure. Yeah, that's the one that I'm thinking of. He is the one that I used part of his tree tutorial to make my tree. Now I mixed like 3 different techniques into one. His was one, and I'm always checking out when it comes to, I want to have a little bit more of a natural look to my dioramas with like grasses and whatnot. His channel is usually always the first one that comes up in the searches for what I'm looking for. So check him out. Also check out Luke Towen, again, another one of those miniature gaming sort of channels. Does a lot of that scenic sort of stuff. So check them out. And then Project Piper Customs, from what I can see on there, it's not necessarily tutorials, it's mostly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle talk. And I'm a turtle guy, so I had to bring them up. They do kind of long form podcast sort of videos, and they talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. So it's a little bit off topic for dioramas, but hey, you know what? We're building these dioramas for our action figures usually. And so go check them out. And then not quite last, second to last, we're almost done with this, you guys. We're almost done. Don't worry. I don't know how to pronounce this. Nagulero. This one, and I'll post a couple of videos. This was invaluable to me. So a lot of us will go out to Walmart or Hobby Lobby or whatever and buy every different color tone that you can imagine, and then you got to store all of them. This person does videos on how to mix your colors to get the color that you want. So the ones that were important to me were like burnt umber and burnt sienna, those sorts of. Now I buy those because I know I'm going to use them a lot, but they do different color mixing videos, and I think it's extraordinarily important as a diorama creator to have a bit of an understanding of how to mix your own paint, and mainly how to mix the colors to kind of know what color you're going to get when you're mixing the paints. And some of the reasons that it's useful to do that, you get to Hobby Lobby and they don't have the color you want. If you're like me, you're doing your painting midnight. And no stores, Walmart's open, but they don't always have that great of a selection. And who wants to go running down to Walmart for a 99-cent thing of paint? Learn how to mix your own paints. My philosophy on paints is buy the colors that I know I'm going to use a lot. That way then they won't dry out. The ones that I'm only going to use from time to time, as long as they're not like neon or metallic or strange ones, try and mix those. So what I do is I buy the primary colors, the red, yellow, and blue, and then black, and then white, and then I buy brown in the big tubes. And then I'll get some of this, like the rust colors in the smaller ones. And then the rest of the stuff I try and mix. It just saves some space. It's kind of fun to be able to know, hey, I did this. But it is a technique that you have to learn how to not pour out so much paint, to not mix so much paint that you're wasting it. I know it's cheap, this stuff, but it still just buggers me every time. I've got this big old pool of paint and I'm just like, well, I'm done with the paint. Now I wouldn't mind getting a wet palette or making a wet palette, but I haven't gotten around to that. So check out Nagulero's channel. Again, very, very useful. And then the last channel that I want to talk about is Chep. You've seen on my channel, I've been doing 3D printing. Lately, I haven't been able to do near as much 3D printing. School has been just kicking me in the butt, and I haven't had as much time. But this Chep channel, C-H-E-P, if you are interested in getting into 3D printing, check out his channel. Especially if you're thinking about getting the Ender 3, his information is invaluable. It's basically my go-to for anything I have 3D printed related. Alrighty, there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it useful. I hope you'll go through some of these different YouTube channels and subscribe to them, check them out, especially now that you're getting a little bit of time back. Actually, this has turned out to be a fairly long video. I apologize. But Hopefully you enjoyed this and you got a lot out of it. If you did, hit that like button, hit the bell notification and the subscribe button if you haven't already. As always, share these videos out to as many people as you possibly can, especially those that aren't yet using the hashtag. That way then we can start showcasing more new creators every single week, as we usually always have a few new ones every week. And I will see you next week with a regular show, as long as nothing crazy happens. Have a great weekend, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next week.